Our second reading is taken from the Apostolic Exhortation of Pope Francis, Laudate Deum, on the climate crisis. Journeying in communion and commitment. From paragraph 66 to the end of the exhortation. God has united us to all His creatures. Nonetheless, the technocratic paradigm can isolate us from the world that surrounds us and deceives us by making us forget that the entire world is a contact zone. The Judeo-Christian vision of the cosmos defends the unique and central value of the human being amid the marvelous concert of all God's creatures. But today we see ourselves forced to realize that it is only possible to sustain a situated anthropocentrism, to recognize, in other words, that human life is incomprehensible and unsustainable without other creatures. For as part of the universe, all of us are linked by unseen bonds together from a kind of universal family, a sublime communion which fills us with a sacred, affectionate and humble respect. This is not a product of our own will. Its origin lies elsewhere, in the depths of our being, since God has joined us closely to the world around us, that we can feel the desertification of the soil almost as a physical ailment, and the extinction of a species as a painful disfigurement. Let us stop thinking, then, of human beings as autonomous, omnipotent and limitless, and begin to think of ourselves differently in a humbler but more fruitful way. I ask everyone to accompany this pilgrimage of reconciliation with the world that is our home, and to make it more beautiful, because that commitment has to do with our personal dignity and highest values. At the same time, I cannot deny that it is necessary to be honest and recognize that the most effective solutions will not come from individual efforts alone, but above all from major political decisions on the national and international levels. Nonetheless, every little bit helps, and avoiding an increase of 1/10 of a degree in the global temperature would already suffice to alleviate some sufferings for many people. Yet, what is important is something less quantitative, the need to realize that there are no lasting changes without cultural changes, without a maturing of lifestyles and convictions within societies, and there are no cultural changes without personal changes. Efforts by households to reduce pollution and waste and to consume with prudence are creating a new culture. The mere fact that personal, family and community habits are changing is contributing to greater concern about the unfulfilled responsibilities of the political sectors, and indignation at the lack of interest shown by the powerful. Let us realize then that even though this does not immediately produce a notable effect from the quantitative standpoint, we are helping to bring about large processes of transformation rising from deep within society. If we consider that emissions per individual in the United States are above 2 times greater than those of individuals living in China, and about 7 times greater than the average of the poorest countries, we can state that a broad change in the irresponsible lifestyle connected with the Western model would have a significant long-term impact. As a result, along with indispensable political decisions, we would be making progress along the way to genuine care for one another. Praise God is the title of this letter. For when human beings claim to take God's place, they become their own worst enemies. Here ends our second reading and the Apostolic Exhortation itself.